cover your eyes, see what's outside. Eventually we'll find the time. And what if I believe you? Or what if and what if I could see you like I saw you the whole time? Go on, give it your all tonight. You can say anything you like. I'm not your savior, so far away, blinded by anger, you forgot who to pray. I'll never be your lighthouse in the dust. If I had my way, I'd guide you to the rocks. Go on, give it your all tonight. You can say anything you like. Poison my mind. You'll never be satisfied. Blame the divine. Eventually they'll find the time. And what if I believe you? Or what if I believe you? What if go on, give it your all tonight. You can say anything you like. I'm not your savior, so far away, blinded by anger, you forgot who to pray. I'll never be your lighthouse in the dust. If I had my way, I'd guide you to the rocks. Go on, give it your all tonight. You can say anything you like. You can say anything you like. Go and give it your all. You can say anything you like. Go and give it your all. And what if I believed you? What if I could? Go on, give it your all tonight. You can say anything you like. I'm not your savior, so far away, blinded by anger, you forgot who to pray. I'll never
Welcome to Wiscobel_ TV on this Sunday night 410 action night for the NODAK Outlaw Sim League as they invade Knoxville Raceway. Qualifying is underway right now. Practice session just got over. It was a 15-minute practice session. The guy that's on top of the charts right now is Jamie McCarron, the number 2 machine. That 410 sprint car, that thing went 15.092. Colton Anderson, the 23 machine, he went second fastest. Nope, Daniel Boyd just got that second spot. Daniel Boyd out there on the racetrack right now with Vortex Sim Sports. Qualifying is a 5-minute. Clayton Tilley to the top of the charts with a 15.044. Speed shot 51 all over that machine. Phil, he is second quickest. Daniel Boyd still third as Zach Janis, he just went out there and he just qualified for the 4th spot. Sean Brown, hammer down Brown, he just came across the finish line. He's back to 6th place. Mike Sorum, he's out there right now, back in the 25th spot. We'll see where he finishes as he comes across the race line. Back there in the 25th spot. Knoxville Raceway. Obviously, the Knoxville Nationals just got over with. NODAK Outlaw Sim League. This is the, here's some race info. Track length, half-mile raceway, a .51 mile length. City Knoxville, 63% humidity out there. Qualifying, Clayton, Phil, Daniel, Zach, and Jamie, all in the top 5. Sean, Colton, Landon, and Colby rounding out 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, and 9th spot. Knoxville Nationals just got over with. Obviously, Kyle Larson won it. If you guys missed that news, Larson won last night there in Knoxville. Cup race, the NASCAR race, absolutely crazy. Larson dominated for a while. Him and Chase Elliott went back and forth. And at the end of that race, absolute chaos. 1 minute and 10 seconds left, and then we get ready to rock and roll for heat race number 1. Thank you all for tuning in here at Wiscobel_TV, either here on Facebook and or YouTube. Carlin Cure, he's a guy that is winning the championship points right now for the NODAK League. Clayton Tilby, you have Colby, you have Sean, and then Kenny Hoppin rounding out the top 5. Andrew Hauser, he was doing very well in the points right now. Andrew Hauser is being showed back in 6th spot. Daniel Boyd, 7th. Josh Hofer. Then you have Zach Janis, and then Patrick Spangler and Tyler Wilson. Both of those guys, Spangler and Wilson, rounding out the top 10. Those guys are tied in points right now. So that's how the night is going to get set up. 30 seconds left, and we'll get ready to rock and roll with heat race number 1. Getting stuff set up on my side just right. The NOS Energy 410 iRacing official races were at Knoxville this week. A lot of laps have been made at Knoxville. We'll see if it transfers over to this NODAK League race. as everyone jumps into their race cars. Make sure they got their setup right. Make sure they got enough fuel for this place to make it 10 laps. Reading through some of the chats, Jordan Etter, let's go Team SSR. The Dylan Evers says the Colt, talking about Kenny Hoppin. As cars are out there on the raceway now, they're going to slowly start making their way around their pace laps. So we're going to get ready to rock and roll for 10 laps around Knoxville Raceway. And here is the grid lineup. Clayton Tilley with Momentum Sim Sports, the driver that was quickest in qualifying. He'll be on pole. Outside of him is a guy from the land down under, Jamie McCarron, the number 2 machine. You have Landon Cardoza, driver out of the crazy state of California, the 114 machine. Gunnar Harris from the great state of Texas, the home of the Buckies. Cleanest bathrooms around. Number 54 machine, Gunnar Harrison, starting back in the 4th spot. Josh Hofer, he'll be back in the 5th spot with FSI Motorsports. Then you have Jordan, the LGR Motorsports driver, the 113 car. He's back in 6th spot. Coulter West with LGR Motorsports. Number 19, he's in 7th place. And then Patrick Spengler, the guy that is in 10th in the championship points hunt. Wide open motorsports driver. Back in the 8th spot. So we're stacked up, we're packed up. Getting ready to rock and roll. Long night ahead of us. How will it all play out? Clayton Tilley, Jamie McCarron, front row, green flag waves. They all stand on the loud pedal, and we're going to shimmy shive down to turn number 1. 3 wide action for a slight bit. That didn't take long. Jamie McCarron trying to hold down 2nd place. Landon Cardoza down to the bottom side. You have the 54 machine of Gunnar Harrison. Teammates side by side for a slight bit, but Harris, he's going to take P2 now. All over the back NERP bar of that number 2 machine of McCarron. That was very close. Coming out of turn 4. Now side by side with Harris and Cardoza once again. Jordan back here in the 5th spot. It kind of has the best seat in the house as of right now as he works down the back stretch, and they all barrel down in a turn at number 3 and 4 now. Side by side, multiple rows deep as they come across a finish line and contact being made. Jordan, he gets pushed out of the raceway. The number 2 machine of Jamie McCarron, he gets pushed out of the raceway too. Top 3 drivers advance, and it is elbows up racing. Early on, halfway home the mama this time by for E-Race number 1. Landon Cardoza has a spot for the transfer. Josh Hofer outside looking in. Coming out of turn 4 now. Coulter West trying to look down to the bottom side of Cardoza. Nothing happened though. Of Josh Hofer, but nothing happened. So Coulter West, he's going to be back there, and wow, big time crash. With Jordan, Patrick Spengler, and now McCarron. So outside shot of the race field now. Clayton Tilley completely checked out. Throw a blanket over 2nd, 3rd, 4th, and 5th place now. Teammates all over each other. Landon Cardoza down to the bottom side on Gunnar Harris. He's going to throw the slide job. Harris, he's going to do the crossover as they swap for the 2nd spot. But Harris, he's going to fight hard right back down to the berm. 94, Josh Hofer trying to do everything he possibly can to figure out how to pass one driver. That's all you got to do. Top 3 drivers advance, and they are battling hard for the 2nd spot. Coulter West still hanging back in 5th spot. He's trying to find a little bit of grip, find a little bit of speed to get around this place. Hofer, he barely jumps the race cushion coming out of turn 4. White flag waves one more time around for heat race number 1. Tilley has a win in hand. Watching Harris, Cardoza, Hofer, and West all battle it out for the last time. Come out of turn 4. It's going to be Harris and Cardoza. Send those guys to the Mac Daddy show. Hofer and West are going to finish on the outside looking in. Heat Race 1 results up there on your race screen. Outside shot here in Knoxville. And this is going to be the grid lineup. Phil, he'll be starting on pole in an FSI Motorsports driver number 14. Kenny Hoffman with Elite Sim Racing, the 001 car. He'll be to the outside. You have Colby, another FSI Motorsports driver, starting in third place. And Andrew Hauser, an FSI Motorsports driver, the 013. He'll be starting in P4. Yeah, Blaine Brink, the 021 driver out of the Northwest. He'll be rounding out the top 5 spot in an FSI Motorsports driver. You got four teammates in one heat race. Of Andrew, the 68, he'll be starting in P6. You have Mike Sorum, the number 69 machine. He's back in 7th. And you have Cole, Bandit Motorsports, number 31 machine. That's how Heat Race 2 is going to line up. Stacked up, backed up, going green. Flag racing this time by Phil, Kenny Hoffman front row, Andrew and Colby back there in the second row. You have Andrew and Blaine in third row, and Mike and Cole rounding out that last row. 10 laps, top 3 drivers advance to the Mac Daddy Show. Green flag waves, and kind of a weird start for our race leader. Phil trying to hold on to the race lead. Kenny Hoffman trying to get to the inside of him. Almost in turns 1 and 2. Looks down to the bottom side here in turns 3 and 4. Side by side for the race lead. Phil is going to get a big run coming out of turn 4. On board now with Colby as he rides there in that third spot. Blink all over the back Nerf bar though. Outside looking in for that 021 machine. Another FSI Motorsports driver of Andrew Hauser. He's back there in P5. Then you have Andrew, Mike, and Cole rounding out the race field. As we get closer and closer now, the top 2 drivers. Phil was running kind of more of that top side slider line for Phil. Kenny Hoffman trying to stick all the way down to the inside curve. And we have one guy flipping upside down, and that's going to be Brink. Back onto the race wheels. Back up front we go. Colby, he's still only inside the bubble. Andrew Hauser out the side looking in. No caution flags for heat races. Phil just jumps a cushion. Inside the cockpit mode now of the FSI Motorsports driver. Colby sitting 3rd in the championship points. Needs to have a good heat race and have a good A-main show. Lap 7 of 10, 1 minute and 44 seconds. Here in heat race number 2, the best lap time up there on your screen now. Phil has it, 15.33. Kenny Hoffman not far off of it, though, with a .350. Andrew Hauser needs a little bit of good luck back there in the 4th spot as the top 3 are single filed out, slowly starting to get spread out now as Hoffman tries to throw the slider line, trying to find some sort of grip out there. But Andrew Hauser outside looking in with the white flag waves. The closest battle out there on the raceway are these 2 drivers as Sorum tries to get underneath of Andrew. Andrew, the 68 machine, trying to let it all hang out next to the outside cushion. Last time in turns 3 and 4, Mike tries to stick down to the bottom side. Andrew jumps a cushion. Nothing happens there as those guys coming across the line. And wow, I thought Andrew Hauser might have ran out of gas. Driver with the checker flag is going to be Phil. Kenny Hoffman P2. And Colby looks like he'll be finishing there in the 2nd spot. Yeah, Andrew Hauser lost a spot there coming to the race line, so he'll be back in 5th spot. Andrew, he came home in 4th. As heat race number 3, he tries to get settled up. 10-lap heat race. Top 3 drivers advance once again. Pace truck rolls out the field. It's going to follow him. As we go down the grid, here's how everything's going to line up. Daniel Boyd, he'll be our race starter with Vortex Sim Sports, the number 79 machine. Hammer Down Brown, Sean Brown up there from Canada. He'll be in P2. Matthew Croak with Phantom Motorsports, the 02 machine. He'll be in 3rd place. Carlin Cure, our points championship leader right now. He'll be back in 4th spot. Ashley Molinex, number 45 machine, drive out of New York. Be starting in that 5th spot. Tyler Wilson, Wide Open Motorsports, number 5 machine, starting in P6. Tyler Coates, 7th, and Terrell Wheeler, the number 43 Bandit Motorsports driver. He'll be starting there in the 8th spot. Heat race 2 kind of got spread out there. A lot of single file. See how heat race and number 3 all. We'll see how the dominoes fall. Daniel Boyd, Sean Brown, front row. Lights on the pace truck is off. We'll be going green. Flag racing this time by. 10 laps, top 3 advance. And here we go. Up here next to the front side, Carlin Cure almost gets tapped there in the left rear tire by Matthew Croak. Cure inside the bubble, top 3. Sean Brown, he's holding down 2nd place. Daniel Boyd leading the way in turns 3 and 4. Hits the cushion, tries to rim ride that cushion side, clicking off another lap, 50 seconds in. Matthew Croak sitting on in outside looking in. Sitting there in the 4th spot. Tyler Wilson, P5. Ashley, 6th place. Tyler Coates, 7th. And Terrell is out of this race back in 8th place. But we may be swift swapping here for the 2nd place. Carlin Cure looks to the outside of Sean Brown. Brown gives him a little bit of room. Now we're side by side for the P2. Brown slowly starts sliding up the racetrack. Leaves plenty of room for Carlin Cure. Side by side. Down in turns 1 and 2. Cure got that spot coming across the line. He does a crossover on Mr. Hammer Down Brown for that 2nd spot. So give Carlin Cure that P2. Daniel Boyd still leading the way. So now Sean Brown's on the hot seat now on lap 7 of 10. Matthew Croak still got to close that gap up a slight bit. Down the backstretch, they all barrel down into turns number 3 and 4. Croak tries to run that slider line. And closing in on the back bumper of the number 8 machine. Coming out of turn 2, down the backstretch. 2nd, 3rd, and 4th, all single file down. Sean Brown tries to look down to the bomb side, tries to throw a slider on Carlin Cure. Wasn't clear, so he had to check out of it, and he may have lost a little bit of time. Big time slick spot going into turns 1 and 2 has developed here at Knoxville. 2 laps to go. Matthew Croak gotta find a way around this number 8 machine. Coming out of turn 4, white flag is in the air. One more time around Knoxville Raceway. Down the backstretch for the final time in turns 3 and 4. Sean Brown is on the hot seat. Matthew Croak tries to look down to the bottom side. Nothing there. Coming to the checker flag. Give the transfer spot to Sean Brown, Carlin Cure, and Daniel Boyd. What a dominating performance by the number 79 machine here in heat race number 3. Heat race 1, that thing got a little sketchy. Little beating and banging, little paint swapping for heat race number 1. Heat race number 2, the top 3 kind of got single filed out, had a little bit of a gap in between them. Heat race number 3, that last transfer spot, it got close. Carlin Cure was able to make a pass on the outside for the 2nd spot, but Daniel Boyd absolutely dominated that race. As heat race number 4 is here, everyone starts slowly rolling off the pit lane. And we'll see how this all shakes up. Driver that's going to be starting on pole is going to be Zach Janis with the SSR Elite Sim Racing. Colton Anderson, the number 23 machine, to the outside. Adam Thompson, the 244 driver, he'll be starting at third as Steven Frenberg. Steven Frenberg, driver out of Pennsylvania. The number 29 machine, he'll be starting in 4th place. Richard Bates, 5th. Brady Roderick, he'll be starting in 6th place. Then you have Darren, the number 1 machine, driver out of the Midwest. So that's how it's all going to shake up. Knoxville Raceway, it's just hammered down. Full throttle racing. Zach will be leading the field off, coming out of turn 4. Colton Anderson to the outside. Steven Frenberg and Adam Thompson, 3rd and 4th place. Brady Roderick, Richard Bates. Then Darren, green flag wave. Zach shoots out like a cannon. He's going to get a very good lead as they barrel down into turn number 1. Side-by-side racing for the 3rd spot. Top 3 drivers advance. The 29 machine of Frenberg all the way to the outside. The 42 machine. Richard Bates trying to stick it in there 3 wide. And contact being made, and wow. Richard Bates and Adam Thompson, they both smashed the outside wall. Race leader Zach coming out of turn 2 now as the field slowly starts working higher and higher next to the outside wall as the night continues here at Knoxville Raceway. Colton still P2. Steven Frenberg is back there in 3rd place. And then you have Brady Roderick outside looking in for R&R Esports, the double deuce machine. Good run by Steven Frenberg to close up on Colton Anderson down the backstretch. They try to look down to the bottom side. Nothing there, though. Zach is completely checked out of the race field there in the 07 machine halfway this time by. Cactus Jack trying to hold on to it there in the 23 machine. Steven Frenberg looks a little bit better coming off these race corners. And Brady Roderick still outside looking in. Needs a little bit of racing luck here. Last lap times up there on your screen now. Race leader ran a 15.7. Colton and a guy in P2 ran a 15.6. Steven Frenberg a 15.8, and Roderick a 15.8 as well. 3 laps to go. Qualifying is starting to become a very big role here for the NODAK Outlaw Sim League. Definitely here at Knoxville Raceway. Track looks extremely tacky out there for heat race number 4. Dan rounding out P5. You have Richard Bates and Adam Thompson still out there on the raceway. Richard P6. Adam back there in the 7th spot. 2 laps to go for our race leader. Give it 1 lap to go for our race leader. Number 7 machine, Zach Janis, down the backstretch for the final time for heat race number 4. He puts that thing down to the inside berm. He's going to try to glue it down there. And he'll be our race 4 winner. Colton P2, Steven Frenberg, 3rd place, and Roderick rounding out the top 4. Track extremely tacky out there at Knoxville Raceway. Not a lot of passing. Roderick was able to pass 2 drivers. Darren passed 2 drivers. And Steven only passed 1. But Zach started on pole. Colton started on the outside of the front row. And that's just how it is. Throttle down and hope for the best. C main event is here. The Charlie. Only 1 driver is going to advance out of this thing. Only 1 driver. Everybody else, well, they get ready to go to work on Monday. Here we go for the race grid for the C main. Josh Hofer, the FSI Motorsports driver number 94. He'll be on the top spot with Matthew Krogh. Phantom Motorsports, the 02 machine to the outside. Coulter West with LGR Motorsports number 19. He'll be starting at third, and then Tyler Wilson with Wide Open Motorsports, the number 5 machine. He'll be starting in fourth place. Jordan with LGR Motorsports, a 113 machine, will be starting in P5, and then Ashley, driver out of New York, will be starting in sixth place. Jamie McCarran, driver out of Australia from the land down under. Jamie McCarran, the number 2 machine. He'll be starting in 7th place, and Tyler Coates back in 8th. Patrick Spengler with Wide Open Motorsports. He'll be rounding out the race field. Main time. Practice is over with, qualifying over with, all the heat races, and this is the cards that you're dealt with. You're in the C main on a Sunday night, and only one driver advances out of this thing. It is go time. 10 laps just like the heat races. Lights on the pace truck is off. Not much time to waste. You got to get up and go. Flagman, green flag in hand. Drivers left out there all by themselves. Pace truck is inside the pit row now. Josh Hofer, Matthew Krogh, front row. Green, a flag waves, hammer down. Josh Hofer to the race lead. Matthew Krogh there in P2 now. Coulter West and Tyler Wilson, they're going to battle it out for that third spot. Colton West has it, but here comes Tyler Wilson. Almost tries to throw a slide job, not quite. Colton West was able to thread the needle there on the outside part, and now West captured third place, has his sights set for the top spot now. Matthew Krogh still in P2. Josh Hofer still trying to lead the way here in the C main event. He is inside the transfer spot. Krogh outside looking in. Then here comes Coulter West back there in the third spot now. Krogh is kind of running that slider line going down into turns 3 and 4. And to turns 3 and 4. West looks down to the bottom side. He's going to lose all sorts of momentum down there. That did not work for the number 19 machine, and his momentum absolutely got shot. Josh Hofer still leading the way, halfway home the mama this time by. Only 1 minute and 9 seconds into the C main, and the 02 machine tries to thread the needle on the outside. Contact made with the race leaders. Hofer did not give him much room whatsoever there on the high side part of the racetrack, and the number 2 machine, Matthew Krogh, is still making contact with drivers. Now here comes Tyler Wilson out of absolutely nowhere down the backstretch and into turns 3 and 4. 4 laps to go here for the C main event, and Hofer's trying to do everything he can to hold on to it, but the 42 machine of Tyler Wilson is absolutely flying up there to the front. The Wide Open Motorsports driver of Tyler Wilson trying to make a name here for the Knoxville Raceway. Don't count out Coulter West yet. Trying the bottom side earlier into the race did not work out for him. Trying it there in turns 1 and 2. It didn't work out for him once again. High line, definitely the fast way to go. And Tyler Wilson is all over the back gas tank of a race leader, Josh Hofer, 2 times. 2 more laps to go. When is he going to make the move? Or is Tyler Wilson just buying his time? Down into turns 3 and 4. Flagman has a white flag in hand. He shows it to the race field. Can Josh hold on to it one more time? Into turns 1 and 2 now. Tyler Wilson outside looking in. Only one driver is going to advance to the B main, and Josh Hofer defended off not 1, not 2, but 3 drivers out in turn 4 for the last time in the number 94 machine. Is going to hold on to that top spot, and FSI Motorsports driver, he will advance out of the C main. He held off a lot of drivers. A lot of drivers came, tried to get around him. That didn't work out for him. Sponsors up there in the right-hand corner. Sheer Salon and XSLR Cross Series Racing League. All forms of motorsports, road racing to dirt racing, It's one series. If you like to test your skills against other drivers and all forms of motorsports here on iRacing, XSLR is a place to go. Go check them out on Facebook. Tell them Whiskey Oval sent you. The B main event, the exact same thing. 10 drivers, only one driver going to advance out of this thing straight to the A main. Josh Hofer, he goes straight to the A main. Here's a grid for the B main. Andrew, the FSI Motorsports driver, number 68. He'll be starting on pole with Brady Roderick to the outside. Andrew Hauser, he'll be starting at third, and Darren in P4. Mike Sorum, he'll be rounding out the top 5 with Richard Bates to the outside there in the 6th spot. You have Cole with Bandit Motorsports, the 31 machine, will be starting in 7th place, and Adam Thompson, the 244 driver, he'll be starting in 8th place. Blaine Brink, the number 021 machine, back there in the last row there in the 9th spot with Tara Wheeler with Bandit Motorsports, number 43, back there in 10th spot. A lot of work to do for those drivers, but only one driver going to advance out of this thing for the NODAK Outlaw Sim League. Fourth driver, he'll be starting 8th place. Stack them up, back them up. One driver going to make it to the Mac Daddy Show for Knoxville Raceway. Brady, Andrew, front row, green flag waves. Kind of a weird start, and they're already wrecking there in the back part of the raceway. Andrew absolutely shot out like a cannon, though. Has a ginormous lead on the race field. Mike Sorum, he's going to try to capture P2. There was Sheer Salon there on the front wing. Will he be able to do it? Brady Roderick, hard charge there to the outside. Yeah, Blaine Brink did not have a very good heat race. He got into a bad crash, but all over Mike Sorum's back gas tank as Mike tries to look down to the high side. Andrew, our race leader, an FSI Motorsports driver, he has a very big gap too. So the race is on here for the 2nd spot. Roderick has it. Mike 3rd, Richard Bates 4th, Blaine Brink lost all sorts of spots. Don't know exactly what happened to him. Andrew Hauser, P5. Adam Thompson, 6th spot. Blaine Brink, 7th. You have Darren in 8th place. Cole and then Terrell not making the race here for the B. Last lap times up there on your race screen. Andrew, our race leader, ran a 16.1. Brady Roderick, a 16.2. So not making up any time for the race leader. Halfway home to mama this time by 10 laps was the distance. 5 more laps to go. Brady Roderick has a 0.9 second gap that he needs to close out on Andrew, but laps are winding down for that double deuce machine. Everyone else kind of single filed out there on the raceway. Mike Sorum's leading Richard Bates and Andrew Hauser down the backstretch and into turns 1 and 2 now. 3 laps to go here for the B main show. The 42, Richard Bates close up on that 69 machine. He's going to try and throw a slide job. He's not clear. He has to check out of it. Track is still extremely tacky out there, and in turns 3 and 4, 1 and 2, very slick down on the bottom side. Here comes a 13 machine looking down low on Richard Bates, and that's going to be Andrew Hauser in contact with Mike Sorum, and the 42 of Richard Bates, he sends Sorum up to the outside wall. Andrew has this race in hand one more time around for the 68 machine. Last time down the back straightaway into turns 3 and 4. And he will be racing in the Mac Daddy Show for the 68 machine. Roderick, he's going to be on the outside looking in. Battled for 3rd place. And a checker flag waves for the race field. So that's it. The C main and the B main are over with. We're all ready to rock and roll for the Mac Daddy Show, the fill to set. There'll be a quick warm-up session. Do not believe they actually take it, though. They will throw the checker flag, and we'll get right into the race. So, the C main, only one driver obviously made it out of that. Very tight racing. Josh Hofer won that. The B main, kind of a weird start. And here's a result for the B main. Andrew got that win for FSI Motorsports. Roderick came home in second. Andrew Hauser third place. Richard Bates fourth, and Mike Sorum. That was a very good battle for that third spot. Darren sixth, Adam Thompson seventh, Blaine Brink, Cole, and then Terrell. Blaine Brink, not the best of nights for him. Race info up there on your screen one more time. Half mile raceway. Track link point 5.1 miles. Temperature 61 degrees. Altitude 922 in the city of Knoxville. 65% humidity. Dana Overton there in the Facebook chat says, let's go Brownie. So as we wait for the warm-up to throw the checker flag, we'll race at Knoxville Raceway, sprint car capital of the world.
Tell me a lie to keep me in line. You swear it's a sign, but it's the torture to rise. Uncover your eyes, see what's outside. Eventually we'll find the time. And what if I believe you? Or what if I defy? And what if I could see you? Like I saw you the
And there it is. Checker flag is waved.
Go on, give it your all tonight. You can say anything.
Warm-up session's over with. We're getting ready to go racing for the Mac and Daddy Show for all the marbles.
Blinded by anger, you forgot who to blame. I'll never be your lighthouse in the dust. If I had my way, I'd guide you to the rocks. Go on, give it your all.
20 drivers are going to make the start here tonight. Richard Bates is the last one in, and Matthew Croak, Andrew Hauser.
Poison my mind. You'll never be satisfied.
So as the fill is set, everyone jumps into the race cars, get their sim rig just right, make sure they have enough gas, make sure they have enough fuel. And here we go. Mac Daddy racing time for all the marbles. No one cares about practice, qualifying, heat race 1, 2, 3, or 4. No one cares about the C main or the B main. It all comes down to this. Knoxville Raceway for the NODAK Outlaw Sim League. Starting grid is going to look like this. Clayton Tilley with Momentum Sim Sports, a 51 machine on pole. Phil, another FSI Motorsports driver, number 14 to the outside. Daniel Boyd, Vortex Sim Sports and P3. And Zach Janis, SSR Elite Sim Racing. They're in the top 4. 4 drivers, 4 different motorsports. Gunnar Harris out of the great state of Texas, the number 54. He'll be starting in P5. Kenny Hoffman with Elite Sim Racing back in the 6th spot. 7th spot, give it to Carlin Cure, our points leader. And then Colton Anderson back in 8th. Landon Cardoza and Colby Araki, FSI Motorsports driver in P10. Sean Brown, 11th. And Steven Frenberg, 12th spot. Josh Hofer and Andrew, Tyler and Brady, Coulter and Andrew Hauser and Matthew. And then Richard rounding out the race field. Fireworks going off. The field is set. And here we go. Pace truck pulls in. Green flag about to wave. Clayton Tilley, Phil, front row, leads the field. 30 laps around this place. Green flag is out. Stand on the loud pedal. We're going racing at Knoxville. Clayton Tilley with a very comfortable lead there in the Speed Shop 51 machine. Has a pretty good gap over the SSR Elite Sim Racing driver Zach Janis, the 07 Carlin Cure points leader. He's back to third place. Zach just taps a wall coming out of turn 2. Daniel Boyd, he's P4. Landon Cardoza and Kenny Hoffman rounding out the top 6. You have Hammer Down Brown back in 7th spot. Phil 8th, Colton 9th, and Josh Hofer rounding out the top 10. Our race leader has a 0.8 second lead as a caution is going to wave on lap number 5. Caution out on the raceway quite early. And I have Coulter West showing red up on the program. Coulter West, the number 19 machine. That was Tyler Wilson that got right onto the back gas tank of him, turned him right around in turns 1 and 2. Caution wait for the first time. Back to live mode, back to race mode. Clayton Tilley absolutely shut out like a can, and Zach Janis could not hold on to the back Nerf bar. We'll see if that changes this time by. Single file restart for the NODAK Outlaw Sim League drivers. Clayton Tilley showing it being in second in points. Carlin Cure, points leader, he's back to third place. Rocket Racing setups all over that machine. One thing I like about this, you got all sorts of speed shops all over these cars. I like it. I like the build-up drama. And right now, Speed Shop 51 is leading it. Rocket Racing Setups is second. You have ABR setup shops back in, I think, the 4th row. You have all sorts of team driving as well. Zach Janis with Team SSR Elite. Kenny Hoffman with SSR Elite. You have Clayton Tilley with Momentum Sim Sports. Carlin Cure. He's just driver out of Carolina. Green flag back out. Lot better restart. Carlin Cure slide job for P2. Zach Janis, he's going to lose that second spot down the backstretch. And Carlin Cure, he has his sights assailed for Clayton Tilley now. Side by side coming across the line. Zach Janis not giving up without a fight. He sticks that machine, that 410 sprint car, all the way down to the inside berm. And he may recapture his second spot now. Clayton Tilley, our race leader, he moves out there to the high and scary side. Landon Cardoza rounding out the top 5. The number 14 team machine riding right behind Daniel Boyd. Daniel Boyd throws a slide job on his race teammate as they drag race down the backstretch. Cardoza looked down to the bottom side once again. Slide up. Contact being made with the race teammates, and everyone is able to keep it straight. And here comes Sean Brown with ABR Motorsports all over the back bumper of the Speed Shop 51 driver of Landon Cardoza. Single filed out there for the 4th, 5th, and 6th spot. Our race leaders. Clayton Tilley still leading the field. He's led all 10 laps. 20 laps to go around Knoxville Raceway. Still the second place has not settled out yet. And Zach Janis way off the pace coming out of turn 2. Carlin Cure trying to rip the lip next to the outside wall. He may have tapped it not once but twice, but now here comes Landon Cardoza into the race mix. He tries to bounce off the race cushion down the backstretch. He gets around Zach Janis. Bottom side not doing the best for that number 7 machine, but he is being dedicated down there. Gap up there on your screen now, a 1.2, a second lead for Clayton Tilley. They're the number 51 machine. Last lap times up there on your screen. Tilley up 16.5, Carlin Cura 16.7. Coming across the line, those will update. And they almost match each other's lap times. On down the list now, Daniel Boyd, P5. You have Sean Brown at 6. You have Colby back in the 7th spot. Down to the bottom side for Colby. Kenny Hoffman, he's fell back to the 8th spot. He's lost 2 spots since the Mac Daddy show. You have Phil back in 9th place. Phil Sar on the outside of the front row. He's barely holding on to a top 10 right now. Gunnar Harris from the great state of Texas, he's back rounding out the top 10. Josh Hofer and Matthew Krog battling out for this 11th and 12th spot. Josh Hofer to the outside, and now Hofer's going to finish in the 11th spot. Matthew Krog back to 12th. You have Andrew Hauser back here in the 13th. Colton Anderson, 14th place. Andrew back to 15th with battling out with Steven Frenberg back for the 15th and 16th. Brady Roderick all over the back gas tanks of both of those drivers. Richard Bates, Tyler Wilson, and Colton West rounding out the race field for the 19th and 20th spot. And we have a car end over end down there in turns 3 and 4. Don't know exactly who it was, but the yellow flag is back out on the raceway. Yellow flag just for the second time here tonight. Back out on the raceway. Did not catch who that was. It was Andrew, the number 68 machine. End over end for him in turns 3 and 4. As a race, Phil is going to single file back up. We'll try to catch a replay. Number 68 machine there on the outside part of the raceway. Brady Roderick slid up, man, clipped his front clip there. End over end. Does he land back on his wheels? Yes, he does. Car absolutely destroyed, though. He just grabs the toe. Carlin Cura now, he will be restarting there in the 2nd spot. Does Cura have anything to say for our race leader? Landon Cardoza is being shown in 3rd spot. Sean Brown, hammer down Brown, he's rounding out the top 5. Our hard charger here tonight as everyone comes across the line. Supreme Fire Suit for Sean Brown. Matthew Krog's moved up 7 spots. They're in the 002 machine. So we'll be stacking them up. Restack them, reback them. Just shy, over halfway. Carlin Cure and Clayton Tilley, front row. Cure to the outside, Tilley down to the bottom side, hammering it down, back to green flag racing. We're going to shimmy a shive down to turn number 1. Carlin Cure, P2. And here goes Sean Brown down to the bottom side. Carlin Cure had to thread the needle there on the outside part of the raceway. As everyone barrels down in turns 3 and 4. Working laps at 18 of 30 now, 8 minutes and 48 seconds into the Mac Daddy show. Carlin Cure trying to do everything he can to close up on the 51 machine of Clayton Tilley. Down in turns 3 and 4 now. Clayton Tilley has led every single lap here tonight, but Carlin Cure trying to reel him in, and he gives a really good run coming out of turn 4. Two different lines for our race leader. Down to the bottom side in turns 1 and 2. High side in turns 3 and 4. 0.3 second lead, and Carlin Cure has a very good turns 3 and 4. Closes the gap lap after lap. 10 more laps to go. Clayton Tilley stuck right smack dab into the slick spot, and here comes Carlin Cure to the outside now. The number 7 machine is closing the gap on our race leader. Landon Cardoza back to the 3rd spot. He's holding on to the back Nurpar of Carlin Cure. Sean Brown into the mix as well, trying to reel these guys in. Kenny Hoppen, he is now back up to the top 5. A very good restart for the 001 machine of Mr. Hoffman. Back up front, here we go. Throw a blanket all over the second, third, and fourth place drivers. Carlin Kerr to the outside with Rocket Racing. You have Speed Shop 51 in the lead in third place. You have ABR Set Shop there in fourth place. And then Kenny Hoffman rounding out the top 5. Lap 23 of 30 now. Everybody slowly starting to bunch back up in the 14 machine. Landon Cardoza is all over the back Nerf bar of Clayton Tilley. And here comes a 7 machine trying to work the outside of Clayton Tilley. Tilley, he's going to take his line away. 3 wide salute coming across the line. And we have a new race leader, the number 14 of Landon Cardoza. Will he be able to hold it down the backstretch? Carlin Kerr trying to find a gap up there on the high side, but Clayton Tilley is on the outside there now. So a new race leader, Landon Cardoza, takes a race away with only 6 laps to go now. It's only going to be 5 laps to go. Carlin Kerr finally get around Clayton Tilley, and Tilley's machine is slowly starting to fall back from him. Kenny Hoppen up into the mix now. Hoppen down to the bottom side. He's going to try to crack a podium spot. Slides it up in front of Clayton Tilley. Tilley threads the needle there on the outside as they barrel down the turns 3 and 4. So now Carlin Kerr trying to reel in Landon Cardoza. Will he be able to do it? A half a second lead for our race leader of the 114 machine. And battle on back is for the 3rd spot. Clayton Tilley and Kenny Hoppen, they go over the speed bumps down the backstretch and into turns 3 and 4. Tilley all the way to the outside wall. Kenny Hoppen kind of there in the middle part of the raceway. Sean Brown still rounding out the 5th spot. He's moved up 6 spots. Daniel Boyd is back in the position 6. Matthew Croak, he has moved up 12 spots here in the Mac Daddy show, and he's up to the 7th spot. Side by side behind him is Josh Hofer and Zach Janis for 8th and 9th. You have Gunnar Harrison rounding out the top 10. Zach, he gets glued to the outside wall. He's going to lose all sorts of time there. 2 laps to go, back up front, and here is our race for the lead. Landon Cardoza takes a white flag from the flagman. One more time around Knoxville race. Hold up, Kenny Hoppen fell back to 4th, but for the final time in turns 3 and 4 for the NODAK Outlaw Sim League, the 114 machine with Momentum Sim Sports. Landon Cardoza going to take the checkered flag. Carlin Kerr is going to finish in 2nd spot. Clayton Tilley 3rd. Sean Brown and Kenny Hoffman all rounding out the top 5. Fireworks shoot off a 30-lap A main event, and man, 51 machine dominated the first part of that race, and the late race caution, or the middle race caution came out. Bunch of filled back up. Instead of going single file, they went double file restart. Absolutely changed up everything. Teammates 1st and 3rd. Carlin Kerr all by himself. We'll jump into the Discord page. We'll try to get an interview with the top 3. Carlin Kerr is our points champion right now, or leading the championship points. Clayton Tilley, 2nd place, and then Colby Rocky is there in 3rd place. Final results up there on your screen now. This is how the fill is gonna end the night. As we wait for the 3rd place driver, Clayton Tilley, jump into the Discord page. We'll interview the guy that finished in 2nd place, Carlin Kerr. And Kerr, man, you are leading the points championship right now. And man, what a hard fought battle out there. There we go. I had my mic wrong. The guy that finished in third place, Clayton Tilley. Clayton Tilley, man, you're gonna finish there in the third spot, but man, what an absolute battle out there.
Yeah, mate. Just more points in the bank. It's obviously third's not what we wanted. We wanted the win, but yeah, on that last yellow, we tried a couple things and moved the wing all the way forward to try and hold the bottom a bit better, and yeah, didn't work out too well. But you know, we didn't win, but setup still did. Landon Cardoza on top. Yeah, it's pretty good.
There was 3 cautions here tonight. Actually, 2 cautions. I said the first caution you guys did a single file restart, but the second caution you guys stacked them back up. Was you guys supposed to do a single file restart or do you know?
Not quite sure, to be honest. Unless that was off the back of the first lap, they might go single file. But anything else should be double file, I would say, up until the last 10 laps. So yeah, I don't know. It's all a rush in your head at the time. You don't even think about it. You just do it.
Racetrack looked like it changed quite a bit just in this 30 laps. Bottom side looked like it was fast. Kind of there in the middle part of the raceway, I noticed he was kind of going to the high side in turns 1 and 2, and then to the bottom side in turns 3 and 4.
Yeah, I was just searching everywhere at the end there. Before the race, I kind of loosened it a little bit to what I would usually run, to intending to run the bottom, because the bottom looked pretty good after the warm up. So, but the top still obviously held on really strong there. So we just kind of made a bit of a mistake there, and then made a mistake with our wing on the restart, and kind of cost us the win, I think, there. But here's what it is. We're still in victory lane one way or another.
Podium spot for you, man. So congratulations. You got any shout outs that you like to give?
Yeah, absolutely. Just got to thank all the boys at Momentum, everything they do, and all our sponsors too. Speedshop51.com for setups, racecraft simulation, everything dirt, Verdict Clothing, Vanderpool Construction, Juiced Energy for hopping on board, Ultimate Dirt TV, J-Dub Photography. I'm sure I'm forgetting a few others. Obviously, you've put on the broadcast, and all the fellas for the league, and congrats to Landon on the win and Carlin on second. Very
cool, man. We'll see you next Sunday.
Cheers, mate.
Clayton Tilley finishing there in the third spot. And the driver that's going to finish in second spot is Carlin Cure, our points leader. And Cure, man, that was kind of a hard-fought battle for you. You had teammates right there in front of you and a guy right behind you.
Yeah, that was definitely one of the most fun races I've had in a while. I don't even remember where I started, somewhere on the inside, and then I knew I wanted to get up top as quick as I could. That's where I feel comfortable here. And yeah, just kind of ran down Tilley. I could tell he was more set up for the bottom, which he usually likes to be, I think. Yeah, top side kind of went away for him. Landon, his other driver, he came around both of us up top while we were 3 wide. We had an awesome race. And then, yeah, Landon won it. That was awesome.
The iRacing 410, the iRacing official races were at Knoxville this week, so I'm sure a lot of laps were made here. But how does the official races and the track change from the official races to the league races?
Yeah, leagues are typically a little bit more slick. But I mean, you get a big official race and it can just be just like that, what we had here. But yeah, honestly, I haven't been doing too well in officials this week. I threw something in that I thought could work and help me around the top up where it's bumpy and stuff, and it seemed to help a lot. I learned something, especially for next week with the official Knoxville races. So yeah, hopefully I learned a lot.
Our point series championship for the NODAK Outlaw Sim League. You got second place. The guy that's in second place in the championship points lead is Clayton Tilley, and I believe you finished 1 spot ahead of him. So man, you're gonna extend your points lead just by a small bit.
Yeah, I hope we have a good race coming down to the end and can have a fun battle for the points championship. That'll be a lot of fun. I know he's a really good driver. He's got really good drivers on his team like Landon. He showed it tonight. Just hope we can stay 1 step ahead of him.
Very cool, man. You got any shout-outs that you like to give?
Yeah, I'd like to thank Rocket Racing Setups, Rocket Racing Graphics, Carolina BG Products, Man Up Sim Racing, and Origin Graphics.
Very cool. Very cool, man. We'll catch you next Sunday.
Yep. Thank you, guys.
Man, he said that was one of his funnest races that he raced in, and man, it looked like an absolute blast. The driver that's going to capture the race lead, or actually capture the check flag, is Landon Cardoza. And Cardoza, man, you took the lead with about 6 laps to go, man.
Yeah, that that was a crazy pass. I didn't think I was going to get them with that 3 wide pass. I thought if anything, I was going to get stuck to the bottom and not be able to slide them. But yeah, that was before then I knew I was quick. It was just one of those things where I didn't think I was going to get around Carlin. But after that caution, it was just, I was moving.
Kind of I don't know if it was an up and down night for you or not, but you did move up eight spots here in the A main show.
Yeah, my heat race was okay. I just didn't qualify the best. Started, I think, third in my heat. Fell back early and got it back up to third to make it into the feature from the heat. And was just really trying to keep the car clean. Those first couple laps where I was getting through traffic, I knew they were faster than a lot of the guys in front of me. Just had to get them past clean. And then after that, I was just trying to get past everyone else.
For a track like Knoxville, where it's kind of big and it's usually just full throttle, does the heat racing all come down to your qualifying time?
I would say, yeah. When you get a bad qualifying, let's say you start back of the pack, and with definitely being how I was in the first heat, it is really hard to pass. Like I started on the bottom there, and off the start, I thought I got a good start, but I fell back to fourth really quick just because that top line had the better restart. But yeah, definitely qualifying comes into play here, and it could help you out, or if you mess up and don't qualify good, it could ruin your night.
I asked Carlin Cure this question. The iRacing official 410 NOS Energy Series was here at Knoxville this week. How does an official race track change from leagues to officials?
Officials, I'd have to say it's just a little bit tackier. I feel like the cushion doesn't get that big of a berm fully yet. You'll get lucky to get like a big cut down or like a bottom line. It usually doesn't get that slick. But once you get into these league races, it gets dry slick, and that's how I love it. It's a big difference, though, when you run officials all week and practice, and you come to this, you've got to be ready to run a slick track because they could come for you.
Man, you got a 2-car pass for the race lead. You captured the race lead and did not look back. Landon Cardoza, our Mac Daddy winner here tonight. And, man, you got any shout-outs that you like to give?
Yeah, I'd like to start off with my men of Sim Sports, my mom and dad. Definitely my dad for watching right now. Speed Shop 51, Racecraft Simulation, CT Designs, Vanderpool Construction, Ultimate Dirt TV, Everything Dirt, Verdict Clothing, and Cool Chassis.
Very cool. Very cool. Landon Cardoza will hopefully catch you next Sunday.
Yep, see you then.
See you then, man. Landon Cardoza, 2 cars in 1 corner, capture the race lead over Tilly and Carlin Cure, and he set sail and did not look back. Final results up there on your race screen for another time. That's how everything's going to fall next week. Where does the NODAK Outlaw guys go to? They go to Charlotte Motor Speedway. Landon Cardoza, that was his first win here for the NODAK Outlaw Sim League. Carlin Cure has won 3 times. And Ross has won twice. No one else has won more than once. Sean Brown won race number 1. Carlin Cure won race number 2. Ross Kaiser, Colby, Clayton, Carlin, then Ross. And then Landon Cardoza, first-time winner for the NODAK Outlaw Sim League. Dirt Track in Charlotte next week, 8:22, 10 o'clock Eastern, 9 o'clock Central, here on Whiskey_TV. You can catch all the action here on Facebook and or YouTube. Thank you all for tuning in here tonight. Thanks for all the likes, shares, and comments. It's much appreciated. Make sure you guys follow or hit that follow button if you have not already. Landon Cardoza, checkered flag in hand for the first time for the NODAK Outlaw Sim League. Everyone, please take care, stay safe, enjoy the new iRacing tracks coming up Monday evening. Have a good work week. As contact is being made up there on the screen. Until next time, I'll be back live on Monday night with the King of Slings Crate Late Models. Tuesday night, I will race, and then Wednesday, we start off with the National Auto Racing Club. They'll start off Wednesday, and then Thursday, we have the Warhorse Dirt Car Series, and then back to Sunday with the doubleheader for the NODAK Outlaw Sim League and the National Dirt Racing Association. Till next time, everyone, please take care, stay safe, enjoy some iRacing.com, and I will talk to you guys later.